There are moments in life that arrive without warning. Moments so sudden, so fragile, that time itself seems to pause. 1 second, everything feels familiar, safe, predictable, almost routine. And the next, the ground shifts beneath your feet. For Kelly Ripa, that moment didn't come in a hospital hallway. It didn't come late at night. It came in the middle of an ordinary day, with cameras nearby, with millions who thought they knew her watching, and with the man she's loved for decades standing right beside her. But what happened next would leave her shaken, silent, and fighting back tears. And tonight, we're walking through that heart-stopping moment, not just to relive it, but to uncover the deeper truth it revealed about love, vulnerability, and the quiet strength we never know we have until everything is on the line. Stay with me, because what unfolds next may change the way you look at the people you love most. For years, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have been a symbol of balance. A marriage that survived fame, schedules, aging in the public eye. A partnership that felt steady, almost reassuring. To millions of Americans, especially those who've lived long enough to understand how rare lasting love truly is, Kelly and Mark felt relatable. Two people who laughed through life, who bickered like real couples, who showed us that love doesn't fade, it matures. That's what made this moment so unsettling. Because it didn't begin with drama. It began with normal. A shared glance. A familiar rhythm. A presence so trusted that no one imagined it could disappear in an instant. And isn't that how life does it? It never warns us when a last normal moment is about to slip away. But as Kelly continued speaking, something shifted. Her voice, steady just seconds before, hesitated. Her eyes flicked toward Mark. And in that brief pause, something was very wrong. What happened next would silence the room. Because when the strongest person you know suddenly falters, your heart doesn't race. It freezes. Mark Consuelos, strong, athletic, always composed, appeared to lose his footing. Not dramatically. Not loudly. Just enough. Enough to make Kelly's breath catch. Enough to turn concern into fear. Enough to remind everyone watching that strength is never permanent, it's borrowed. In that instant, Kelly didn't think like a television host. She thought like a wife. The cameras faded away. The audience disappeared. And the world narrowed to one question. Is he okay? Her composure cracked, not fully, but visibly. Her hand reached out instinctively, the way it has thousands of times in private moments no one ever saw. And here's the part that struck so many viewers in their 60s. It wasn't panic. It was recognition. That look you get when you realize the person you lean on may suddenly need you to be the strong one. But just as concern turned into dread, something unexpected happened. Because sometimes a scare isn't the ending. Sometimes it's the awakening. Later, when Kelly spoke about the moment, her voice trembled, not from fear alone, but from truth. She admitted something many couples don't like to say out loud, that after years together, you begin to believe the other person is invincible. That love tricks you into thinking, we've made it through everything, we'll make it through this too. But in that moment, she saw how fragile even the strongest bonds can be. Her tears weren't about collapse. They were about realization. That time is precious. That health is never guaranteed. That love is not proven in anniversaries, but in seconds when your heart threatens to break. For viewers who've held a spouse's hand in a hospital room, who've waited for test results, who've whispered prayers they never thought they'd need, this wasn't celebrity drama. This was life. And just when it felt too heavy to bear, Mark did something that surprised everyone. Because love, when tested, often reveals its greatest strength. Mark didn't make a speech. He didn't brush it off with humor. Instead, he reached back. A small gesture, almost unnoticeable. But to Kelly, it was everything. It said, "I'm still here." It said, "We're still us." It said, "Don't be afraid." And for a couple that spent decades under public scrutiny, this moment, unscripted, imperfect, deeply human, may have been their most honest yet. It reminded viewers of something powerful. That long-lasting love isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It survives quietly, in hand squeezes, in shared glances, in moments when words fail but presence remains. But the story doesn't end there, because this scare sparked a conversation far bigger than Kelly and Mark. Across living rooms in America, especially among those who've lived 6 decades or more, this moment landed hard. It stirred memories. It reopened fears. And it whispered a truth we often avoid. We assume tomorrow is promised. But it isn't. Kelly later shared that the incident changed the way they approach everyday life. More check-ins. More "Are you okay?" More appreciation for the ordinary moments we take for granted. And isn't that the real message? That love doesn't ask for grand gestures. It asks for attention, for presence, for gratitude. And just when you think you've heard it all, there's one final realization that lingers long after the cameras stop rolling. Because the most heart-stopping part of the story wasn't the collapse. It was the reminder that one day, without warning, any of us could become the person someone else is afraid to lose. So tonight, after this video ends, who will you check on? Who will you hold a little longer? Who will you remind that they matter right now? Because love isn't measured in years. It's measured in moments. And sometimes, it only takes one moment to change everything. Stay close. Stay grateful. And never assume you have more time than you do.